Facebook Live! Hey guys, LIVETHEFUEL fans and followers. Dr. Megan Cannon in the house from Mind+Body+Spirit. And she just decided to drop by. You know, we're hanging out. We're at Panera Bread. I don't eat bread, but I like to work at Panera Bread apparently. They got free Wi-Fi, so we can actually do Facebook Live for you guys. But we're catching up today because we're going to be recording for a podcast that'll air in a few weeks. And figured to give you guys a little love on the Facebook life and just change things up. So, how you been?
Good.
Yeah?
Busy.
Okay.
Yeah, big time.
All right. Well, we're going to talk today, guys, about sleep and performance. Okay, so this applies to work life, fitness life, health life in general, heck, just life balance. But stand by because I'm going to do a live recording on this as well. So I'm going to do my normal little intro for her, and then we'll just get right into the regular Facebook Live life and just roll for you guys. So stand by. Good. All right. Make sure my vocals are still good. I'm still talking way too loud. All right. All right, we are good. Very exciting for Facebook Live. I'm sure you guys really care about this stuff. So,
Behind the scenes?
yeah. Good day and good evening, LIVETHEFUEL fans. We are recording live here at a Panera Bread. And if you guys follow this show, I don't eat bread, so no shout out to that, but I do love their free Wi-Fi. And today we got cappuccino and hot tea. But today we are connecting up again with our regular sports psychology co-host, Dr. Megan Cannon from Mind+Body+Spirit. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. It's always fun.
So real exciting here for the podcast world is like we're actually doing a Facebook Live while we're recording this. So there's like two different platforms merging and happening at the same time.
There's a lot of things happening right now.
Yeah, we've got microphones.
Microphones.
We've got looks like you have a MacBook Pro.
Yes.
We got a MacBook Pro, so she's got her slideshow set up to help just with notes, like because we're smart people, but sometimes you got a backup plan. We've got tripods with iPhones, and we've got microphones mounted on that, and then we've never actually used the little tripods on the microphones before. We got a Zoom H5 recording device. We've got hot tea on your end. I've got my Ionic Supreme from my Isogenics world here that helps me keep my stress down. And then I'm rocking out a nice big fat cappuccino. I'm sorry, no, cafe latte. So there's a lot happening.
There's podcasting, Facebook Living, hydrating, and twinning.
Oh yes, we're twinning.
We are wearing the same clothes. We noticed.
Shout outs to SYR CrossFit, Rob Eschbach, and the crew over there. We did not plan this. Okay, she did text me.
Did not notice it right away.
You did text me this morning because she was running a little bit late on the way here, but there was no texting about going twinsies on these very soft and comfortable hoodies.
Yep.
So
thank you, SYR CrossFit, for working us out and clothing us.
Brett, Rob, we love you. And actually, that's Stan Chan.
Oh, hey, Stan.
We got Stan Chan from SYR, dude. Rocking the hoodies, bro. So, speaking of hoodies, and Stan Chan, and Rob Eschbach, and SYR CrossFit, and Sleep and Performance. CrossFit Open last night, the year at 18.4.
I know, the new workout is officially out.
Yeah, I think this totally integrates in with what we're going to be talking about here because I stayed up later to watch the Open, so that might have impacted my sleep. And then right after that, I had to do a training call on that Trello app with Anna Vocino. Shout out to Anna Vocino. She's the voiceover for this podcast show. But here's a little fun thing. You're in the Open.
I did sign up this year, yes.
Megan's in the Open, Stan. If you didn't know that, Stan, she's in. So Megan's in the Open. I'm in the Open. I just taught her something that
I evidently do not know how it's scored.
That maybe may impact her own sleep because now she's gonna be worried because she's registered as a scaled athlete. I am registered as a master's scaled athlete because I turned 40 back in September, and she did not know that if you perform the workout as an RX athlete, it's worth more than anything you could have done as a scaled athlete.
I did not know that.
Which means, Rob, when you listen to this or watch this later, Megan needs to start doing some stuff RX because it's going to outrank her scaled score. She had no idea. So
I'm like, I want to go
hopefully this does not impact your sleep.
No, it won't impact my sleep. But it's been enjoyable. I signed up for it because I go to the Friday classes at SYR, and that's what they program. So I figured, well, if I'm doing the workouts anyway, and then one of my friend's moms who goes to the gym, shout out to Betty.
Eddie.
She's
Right.
doing it. And I saw the trainer that she works with, Steph. So shout out to Stephanie too.
Oh yeah,
at
Stephanie.
SYR.
We got all kinds of SYR shout outs.
Oh my gosh, we were just
today.
dropping names all over
We
the
are
floor
actually
today.
in Allentown, so that makes
so
sense.
It's okay.
Yeah, I like this.
But I saw an Instagram post she did that Betty was doing it, and I was like, you know what? If my friend's mom is doing this, like I can do it. So
Good point.
so I signed up for it and did not know the scoring, which was probably helpful, but it's good to
It's
kind of
okay.
get
It's
to
your
that
first
zone.
time.
Yeah,
It's your
but you know,
first
it's interesting in terms of, and this is why I think it's really helpful doing things like that, is because I work with athletes all the time who are competing and challenging themselves to do things like that and having to get through, whether it's a competition or performance or a workout, and do it well. And so it's been interesting for me to apply some of the things and just sort of navigate my way through and sort of develop some tips for myself, which have been helpful in executing the workouts. So that's been.
And when did you actually start doing CrossFit?
Well, we've been doing a lot of learns over at SYR CrossFit, name drop number 27 tonight. So we've been doing that for like over 2 years now. So I just slowly started just going over there just to work out, like the people, the environment there. So it's just been, so just kind of gradually.
It's one of the biggest things that helps, I think, in the CrossFit space is the community aspect that you don't get in a traditional gym. I've talked about it many times on some past podcasts. Is that, and we did it when we did the Super Bowl podcast live from CrossFit Adoration. Shout out to my crew in Bethlehem, CrossFit Adoration. I live in multiple worlds.
On the floor.
Yes, we sat there in mobility, sweating, and doing a post Hero WOD podcast show.
Yeah.
So
Lots of stretching.
definitely not the same as your WOD and Learn.
No.
But anyway.
Stretching. But yeah, so we were CrossFit Open, doing all of those things. So we have 18-4 coming up today. Lots of deadlifts in our future.
I'll be
which
going
I'm
there
excited
today.
Excited about.
That's why I'm all in my workout gear, and we're in our sporty
matching
gear and our matching hoodies, because I'm going to go take this off later and then sweat my butt off doing 18-4. So, but hey, enough about CrossFit.
Yes, so let's talk about
We're talking about sleep and performance.
sleep and performance. Yes.
So what's going on?
So I yesterday was doing a Mind of the Athlete Academy where I was working with the high school all day, did 4 talks, then met with some of the students, but we were talking about sleep. And so when we were coordinating about the podcast and what we could talk about, I figured it's one of those things that sleep, although we talk about it, we know it's important, we also don't prioritize it, and we don't necessarily.
We know it has to happen every
get in the
day,
way.
right? We have to do it every day.
Yep. And so, it's one of those things that it benefits us greatly, but we don't necessarily do things that help us do it well. And so there are some things that I think, we can talk about that just help sleep, increase the quality, and then some things to think about in terms of increase the quality and things to think about in terms of increasing the quantity.
Yes. Well, I think that goes back to, now obviously we've already started talking heavily about health and fitness, but because of CrossFit. But I tell people all the time, it's like, when I come across people who want to lose weight or they're struggling with their health or wellness in general, because I love health, it's a big part of me, I'm not just a marketing guy all the time, is people think, oh, I just got to go to the gym. I just got to start getting into the gym. And I'm like, why would you waste the money? No offense, Rob. But don't spend the money for an amazing community like SYR or CrossFit Adoration or any other CrossFit gym or any other gym you choose if you're not putting quality food into your lifestyle. So shout out to Erin Sparrold, her teammate, the sports nutritionist who comes on the show. We talk about healthy food and fueling your body right. But it's like, okay, you got the food. I still say don't go to the gym, because if you don't have your sleep, rest, and recovery in place in a good program, a good circadian rhythm, it's totally going to impact you at the gym.
Absolutely. And because, one of the things and one of the important things about sleep, especially for people that work out or athletes or people that are active, is our muscle repair and recovery happens, during deeper, like stage 4 of REM sleep. So, it's a lot of things. Sleep is associated oftentimes with rest. It rests our brain waves slow down, they relax. Our heart also slows down, so we're able to just give our heart a little bit of a break. Our respiration slows down, so a lot of functions in our body slow down while we sleep, which is incredibly beneficial. We're actually able to rest our brain, because even when we think we're relaxing, and watching a movie, for instance, your brain is still processing and working really hard to see the images, hear it, put the stories together, so it's still working, even though we're not necessarily doing things. So sleep and
saying that the brain doesn't completely shut down?
It does not. Yeah. So it's still doing things, but it really slows down. But cell growth and repair increases.
Yes.
And so in terms of our muscle repair and recovery, when you're an athlete that's working out and you're making those tears in your muscles, you need that cell growth to repair it. And so if you're going to the gym and really getting after it, but then not sleeping to allow that cell growth to happen and increase, you're really like minimizing your gains, minimizing that progress, and minimizing your potential solely based on the sleep.
Yeah, I love that we're following up on this because an interesting for your last WOD and Learn, which I attended at SYR, is we're just plugging the heck out of you.
I wish there was like a count.
It's like there should be like a counter, like ting ting ting. So it's your last WOD and Learn was really more about helping athletes program themselves better. It was going on during the Olympics, right? You were discussing about the power of music and getting into the right mindset. So it's kind of interesting how right today we're talking about the tail end of it now, which is, hey, you've done, let's say, all that great music focus and fitness all day long, and then it's the end of the day or whenever you get your sleep in, and it's like, okay, now it's time to heal, recover. And the reason why here is because we talk about sleep and performance. That's going to be in the title of this episode, because this is totally tied to what your performance is going to be like the next day.
Absolutely.
And actually the rest of the week, the rest of the month, right? Because there's a build-up here, isn't there?
So much. There's so many things that impact, ultimately our stress level. When we don't get sleep, we have increased cortisol in our body. That is a stress hormone to have, but also in terms of weight management, it's like that. When we have those increased levels in our body, it holds our weight around our abdomen, which is a very unhealthy place to happen. And also, it messes with our hunger hormones.
Right.
It increases our
leptin and ghrelin levels are thrown off.
They are, and so we get hungrier, and then ultimately we crave things. Overtraining injuries happen when we're injured. There's just all of these negative impacts, and also it impacts our mood. And so that serotonin that gets released, and all those things that get replenished, well, that happens then at a later or a lesser rate as well.
Yeah.
So we're in crappier moods, we're hungry all the time, not eating good things. It's a bad cycle.
So you had mentioned that you had just done like 4 talks on this.
Yes.
Now, what was the age ranges of the audiences that you were impacting this? I think what we're hitting on here is this applies to all age levels.
Yeah, this was high school. I was out at Cannon Ph.D. in Monroe, Pennsylvania. We do run the Mind Academy, so I've been out there. This is my 3rd time this year, where we have all the athletes. They come in by teams, and 4 times throughout the day, I'm delivering the content to smaller groups. So we're teaching them things. We did how the mind works and performance anxiety the last 2 times, but yesterday we talked about sleep. Because we just, we're able to educate these athletes, and ultimately teenagers, but because we're talking about sport, we're able to kind of frame and shape the information coming in from a perspective that they're buying in, because they want to do better, their teams are doing well, and all that kind of stuff. So it's fun.
Do you feel there's there might be some truth to, I don't want to call it the hero complex of sleep, but let's be real. Our bodies, when they're younger, seem to recover faster. With me not being a scientist, I'm very intrigued on your opinion on this. And it's like, okay, well, when we're talking about sleep and performance, things can probably bounce back like a rubber band a lot easier when the rubber band's new, right? When you're younger, like obviously your teenage years are still very, very responsive. Your 20s, like obviously college, right? Like I remember I was probably doing 6-hour days, and there's still tons of people out there who say, oh, well, you can still do 6 to 7, you don't need 8. And we don't need to really get into the actual necessary quantities, but in your studies and what you've spoken to from youth to adults, do you feel that obviously quantity does come into that factor as well?
Oh, absolutely, because they're still growing.
Okay.
Yep, and so the quantity piece of it, they're in terms of that younger age bracket, they're still growing, and so you can argue that they actually get more sleep. Because their bodies are, they're still growing and developing and forming, so not only do they need that energy to sustain what they're doing in the day, they also are building. And so it's,
So that's interesting, because what I was just thinking about was, we can get away with doing the 6 to 7 when we're younger because we're younger, but what you're hinting at is, actually, because you're in such a heavy developmental phase and growth phase, that's not fair.
Totally not. Yeah. So they actually recommend 8.5 to 9.25 hours for teenagers, which I mean,
what about the 20s?
They're not getting. You know, I think like some of the things that I've read different stuff about it, and so I'm honestly like not positive.
There's tons of research.
Yeah, and
there's so much.
I've seen things where it's like, you know, there's people that can do well on 6, do well on 7, do well on 8. Some people that need 9, need 10, and so I think it's one of those things that as we age, we probably find.
Shout out to Annette on the West Coast. Sorry, she's been on the show. Annette Bone. So. I don't want to keep going.
No, it's fine.
She's a dancer, so this is important. Rest and recovery performance. So she's gone through amazing weight loss and transformation. Love you. So this is good. This is good.
That's awesome. And so.
Sorry, I got challenged.
I know. I'm like, where was I even?
You've been on this show so many times, I probably broke you. No, we were talking about how like there's so much research and there's so many people. There's different studies saying quantities.
Quantity, and so you know, there's I think everybody that when you're an adult, like you come to a point that I know some people that they're like, if I get less than 9, I'm a miserable human being. And there's some that like they function well on 7, and so I think there are kind of that individual and personal differences with it, but ultimately like we need to be prioritizing it and getting about 6, 7, 8 hours if we can.
So earlier I mentioned if I had to narrow things down to a healthy lifestyle balance, I truly believe in order to fuel the mind, fuel the body, whether we're talking about health, fitness, business, professional life, student life, or just family and love. I truly believe that you got to fuel the body with the right water, the right food, right? So you got basic necessities of hydration and food. We're hitting on sleep, rest and recovery, and then obviously exercising the body and moving the body. Out of those 3, would you weigh in on where sleep should be? Is there a balance? Is there a top 3? Because like I joked around about how why waste the money on a gym?
Yeah.
Because I can help people literally not just lose weight, but obviously what you're hinting at, lower stress levels, help the body recover faster. People can actually lose weight just with a healthy diet, proper hydration, going for walks. I mean, because you're cleaning up what you're putting into your body. You're not eating all that manufactured crap.
Yeah.
You're hydrating better. You're not drinking soda and all these other chemical crap. And then if you're sleeping right, you're allowing the body to heal and recover with all those essential nutrients you're putting into it. And then you start maybe adding exercise in. So that's kind of where my brain is at. But I'm just wondering where you're at as a sports psychologist.
I'm getting like stuck in between. I mean, you know, I think out of the 3, the exercise component is definitely the tertiary piece there. But in terms of like, you know, what comes first, nutrition or sleep? Because on one hand, your nutrition and your appetite are impacted by sleep. And so there's that. And so then if we're not getting the sleep, then we're potentially putting ourselves in a position to not put the right things in our body.
Interesting.
Too much. And so I feel
so
it's like one of those chicken or the egg.
So that goes back to what we were discussing about like how I dropped in the hormones. You mentioned hormones. I obviously clarified this. Leptin and ghrelin, like they're constantly at battle with each other. And they are heavily affected by things like sugar. But to be fair to your point, if your body's under stress, and as you mentioned, cortisol levels, that's definitely going to throw things off, right? So I definitely see that. Interesting.
Yeah. And then also, like in terms of our memory consolidation, if we're still trying to like perform and be functional, our memory short-term to long-term consolidation happens while we sleep.
Interesting. So I've never really heard that term before. Obviously, I know about the importance of sleep, allowing the body to rest, and then eventually get to that deep REM cycle, right? But what is consolidation? What do you mean by that?
Like in our brain, there's different storage areas for short-term and long-term memory, and when we're sleeping, you know, that there's that process is able to happen where those memories of like, you know, what you ate for breakfast on Wednesday, you know, are no longer there, but there might be an important phone call that is going to dictate a meeting that you have next week, and it's, you know, an opportunity that's still there.
So are we talking about consolidation of short-term memory or long-term memory?
It's going from short-term to long-term. So it's taking it, like, so it's taking
this
that
is the transfer process.
Yeah, and so it's that memory consolidation and, like, you know, figuring out, okay, we can throw that one out because we don't need it, but this one we do need it, so we got to put it over here. And so all of that's going on, and, like, our brain, that happens when we sleep. And so I always, with the athletes that I work with, you know, they're, like, pulling off these all-nighters and doing all this stuff, like, just
again, goes back to my hero complex.
Yeah.
I'm super student.
And I'm like, you can't. I'm like, studying, like, sleep is the third part of studying. Like, the first part is the actual learning, the second part is, like, the reviewing.
Right.
The third part is sleeping. Because if you're not sleeping,
you're not actually...
then, like, you're kind of, like, almost like if you go to the gym and then go eat McDonald's. Like, you are spending the time doing the things, but ultimately
we are
doing
not
something
plugging McDonald's on
no,
this show
that
at all.
That was an example for what not to do.
Bad.
So you need to be doing the right things after you're doing it. Otherwise, that effort you're putting forth, like, it's gonna.
So this whole memory consolidation can really go back to your studied data consolidation. So these people, like, we've done it, right? Like, I went through these cram sessions when I was in school, and it's like, okay, great, but you should probably stop cramming by, let's say, 10 p.m., be in bed by 11 p.m., and hopefully sleep until 7 a.m. to get a nice solid 8-hour cycle, because everything you just crammed into that brain has it left the short term and moved into the long term, is what I'm hearing. And like, if you aren't allowing the right amount of rest and recovery, you probably lost a whole bunch of data.
Right, there's data, yeah, right, like something's gonna stick.
So you're like on a hamster wheel. You're just not actually going anywhere.
Yeah, and so that's where I'm almost in that, going back to the question that you asked, I'm almost leaning a little bit more towards sleep being like a degree more on top of the nutritional piece, just because sleep dictates to a point, what we're craving and our appetite and all of those things. So I think it's the number one.
Okay, all right. So we got sleep and performance, and obviously proper hydration and food, right? And then obviously exercise. So I think those are actually, if you want to flip that into, I'm doing a visual here for the podcasters on the live video, but your foundation, right? Proper hydration, proper fuel, proper food, and then obviously sleep is the fuel as well. Now you've built a solid foundation. Now you're ready to move into the more strenuous things like exercise, fitness, competitions, heck, the final exam when you're in college, right? Like, hey, you've been building. It's the end of the year, and it's time to hit all these final exams or term papers, etc. So it's like, you got to prepare for the big game, is what I think we're talking about here too. And this applies, heck, let's go to the business world, right? We talk about business on this show. So it's like, okay, well, this would totally apply directly to somebody trying to move up in a company, get promoted, maybe launch a business, launch a company. I don't know. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, and that's a whole other piece of it is when we're talking about like that type of performance. It's although it's not like the physical performance, athletic performance that we were talking about earlier, it's a whole other different type of performance where that, again, your stress, ability to manage your stress, memory consolidation, like all of those things, your ability to focus, your ability to just think on your feet, your reactions, like all of those things are really moderated again by our sleep.
Well, if we're stressed, we can't focus as well. So that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, and if we're exhausted, it's like the neck of a lot of things. It supports a lot.
So people who watch this or listen to this, they're hearing this like, oh, if it's one of these experiences, whether it's health, business, lifestyle, education related, you're in college, you're in a job, you're at home, maybe you're an at-home professional mother, because you ladies do kick some butt as full-time moms, or dads for that example nowadays. But it's like, if you feel like you're beating your head up against the wall, have you overworked yourself? Are you allowing the right amount of sleep? Because I'm hearing from you, it's like it's tying directly to anything performance related.
It's one of those things that it's right there in our face, and it can solve a lot of problems if you choose to prioritize it.
Huh.
And so, but that's the thing. We are so busy. It's that, okay, how do we carve out that time for sleep, but then also making sure that as we carve out the time, that we're doing it in a way that's going to be helpful for us. So, for instance, in our phones. Now, I know 2018, it is unrealistic for most of us to be in a perfect world. Let's sleep with the phones out of the bedroom, right? Like we don't go on the phone an hour before bed.
I do not sleep with my phone in the
blue light, we put it out. But for me, for me, it's like it's my alarm clock. And so, and I feel like with the majority of people that I work with, and like the athletes, their alarm clock.
Can I challenge you?
Yes.
Okay. So I went on Amazon.
No, I know.
Shout out to Amazon.
I know.
I ordered a mechanical clock.
I know.
It runs on one AA battery.
I know.
And it's right next to my bed.
Believe me, I tried talking to that. I know, with college. Doing it to a college team, and they just like looked at me and they were like. And so I was like, it's one of those meetings where people are at.
But here, yes, exactly, right? We have to meet
teenagers.
People watching this or people listening. You have to meet people where they're at. I totally agree with you, because I've used this term on the show too, where it's like you have to meet them where they're at that place on their timeline. I didn't always know about blue light and blue light blocking sunglasses or glasses in general. I now own 3 different pairs of blue light blocking glasses, thanks to people I've had on this show. And I'm trying to educate people on this because it is real. If it wasn't real, Apple would not have added that into their software to allow you to enable dimming of the screen, and you could program certain hours in the day when that happens to help reduce the amount of emitting blue light. So a real quick science hack for you watchers and listeners is, and you can go back and listen to past episodes on this show to find this, especially recommend episode 51 with Dr. Jack Cruz, viral following. He's an expert in neurology, neurosurgeon, mitochondrial level of the cells, the power plants of your cells. Anyway, long story short, blue light is killing us, he said, because what's happening is blue light is like the sun, right? So if you have blue light slamming your eyes at night from your smart devices and your TV, why do you think it's so hard to reach that deeper level of sleep? Because you've told your brain, because here's the best part, melatonin. Melatonin production triggers sleep. So if through your eyes you're allowing all that blue light in, you're telling your brain, oh, it's still daytime, I don't want to go to sleep. So melatonin production is now being inhibited. That's why all these people nowadays are like, oh, I got to start taking a melatonin supplement. I don't take melatonin supplements. So my body makes all the necessary melatonin I need, but am I allowing it to do so? Am I inhibiting it or preventing it? Right? So these are things we got to start thinking about, guys. Like, this technology was not always around. We didn't always have this problem.
A really good test that I like for that is, are you getting that second wind at like 11:30 at night?
Interesting.
Because, our body.
Define that. What do you mean?
So, our body, like, usually around the 9 to 10 o'clock, if people are assuming on that, more daytime, like 9 to 5-ish schedule.
Okay.
So those, that we're regulated to a point, with our general circadian rhythms. And so around, like, that evening time, our body starts to release that melatonin to start kind of putting us down, but the blue light, like what you were saying, fights against it. And so then, about, like, around 11:30, all of a sudden, like, kind of energized again.
Right.
So you can actually kind of feel that flow of, like, okay, I was getting tired, but now I just, like, magically have energy.
And that's not natural. That should not be happening.
No, because it's like, what, you just, like, magically had energy at 11:00.
People are like, oh, yeah, man, I got this great second wind at, like, 11:30 at night. And it's like, is that supposed to be happening?
I like drawing attention to it. I mean, I don't know if, like, I'm sure there are other things that contribute to that as well, but, like, that's one of the things, too, where it's like, think about it.
Well, here's the thing. If you want to sum that up, look at stimulants in life, right? So don't be consuming caffeine, for example. I love caffeine. I'm enjoying my cafe latte right here. But
10 a.m.
No sugar, just latte. So, but the point is, lattes or blue light stimulants at night, don't be adding stimulants into your lifestyle when you're supposed to be letting your body wind down at the end of the day.
Yep.
So I think that's important.
Yeah. And then, something to think about then, because staying on the track of the phone is, when for those people that is like, they're not going to part with their phone in the bedroom. They're just
my fiance will not. She's an on-call horse vet. So veterinary doctor, that's her, like, she's got to be able to hear the phone.
Yeah.
So. And
so, but then the issue then becomes when we have our notifications on. And so I always tell people, I'm like, listen, I get it. Like, if for you, the alarm clock situation is not going to work. You're not into it. You at least have to have it on Do Not Disturb.
Okay.
Because even when, like, if we're not even, even if you're not, like, waking up and checking whatever notification just went off on your phone, your body is still hearing it. You're still waking up. And so, as we were talking before about really reaching those deeper levels of our REM sleep for our muscle recovery, like all these important things, well, when the phones are going off and just that little at random points of the night, you're preventing your body from doing
brain
that.
To listen to that.
Yeah, so even if you're like best of intentions, you're like getting 9 hours of sleep, but you're doing that, that's one of those things where, if you're going to really prioritize it and make this a thing, like, don't be shooting yourself in the foot.
So I'm going to meet you and your college students where you're at on your timelines. I'll remove the mechanical clock from the equation, even though I highly recommend it. A runner-up, like when I'm at a hotel. A hotel, I will cover up. They usually give you like a digital alarm clock. I don't want that screen glowing.
Oh yeah, I
cover that shit up. I throw it. I unplug it. Whatever.
Yep.
So my hack is I swipe up, hit airplane mode on the iPhone, if you're an iPhone user, and I set my alarm. and then I put the screen face down.
Yep.
So the advantage of iPhone is there's two things here. One, face down means there's no chance of the screen lighting up in the middle of the night, and because I black out the room, especially when I'm traveling. You can do this at home. And then airplane mode also shuts down all the frequency emissions that come from your phone trying to look for either Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or the cell phone networks. Because this is something else. Again, I recommend episode 51 over a year ago back with Dr. Jack Cruz, because he's like, guys, like, think about it. We're constantly being bombarded by frequencies that didn't exist 100 years ago. Cell phone towers, you can't remove them from the equation. We keep adding more, boosting their emissions. We're constantly being bombarded at the cellular level. He said we can control Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and then especially when you're sleeping, he said, shut it down. You're sleeping. Now, Kristen, my fiance, she can disable Wi-Fi, she can disable Bluetooth, but obviously she wants to leave the phone on.
Right.
To your point, shut the notifications off. Switch the phone to vibrate mode, so there's no audible. But then if you shut the notifications off, you should have no vibrations, right? So there's two different scenarios there to look at. Me, I go complete airplane mode. Her, or if somebody who's on call or needs to be able to make sure that I get a phone call or something, great. I mean, if it's not life or death, when you swipe out of airplane mode, when you wake up in the morning, you'll have a phone call or a voicemail or a text message waiting for you, because all that stuff comes flushing in.
And even because I know, like with certain situations, people are like, this person calls me, it's an emergency, or parents with kids, things like that. You can set settings and you put on do not disturb that certain people can still, if they did call
Another
you,
hack. There you
or
go.
if they called you twice, like if any number calls you twice, then that second time will go through. So there are, from that side, different settings that you can do to just feel comfortable doing that. That if something important was going on, you would still be able to know.
Another new hack: did you know that you can restrict incoming text messages while you're driving? So I was at a conference or a trade show at the New York Giants Stadium yesterday outside of New York City, and a colleague that I had there, she had left, but I took photos of her like working her table at the event. It was a marketing thing. So it's like I took some photos and I texted them to her from before I left in my car, and I got an immediate response from her. It was like an automated response saying, "I'm currently driving in my car. These will come. I will receive these once I'm done." So I think that's a feature if you enable car mode or something.
I think it's in the car.
Yeah.
Because one of my friends, now that you mentioned it, I got that once, and he had just recently gotten a new car.
She does have a new car.
And so I think like when the car comes out, then you can program certain things.
Okay, so that might have been a car feature synchronized with the iPhone, and then it did say like if this is an emergency, resend again, and it'll push it through. So interesting new hacks. There you go. So we were talking about sleep performance. Now we're giving you guys technology hacks. So, but these are all important things we got to learn about, because to your point, sleep is crucial. You got to. I'm a deep sleeper, but if she gets an emergency call in the middle of the night, that frustrates the hell out of me, because I don't want to wake up. But that's the lifestyle we've chosen, so it's okay. It's very rare.
Right, because it's not like one of those things where you're in college and it's happening 20 times a day.
Yeah. But admittedly, I personally have chosen to leave my iPhone in my office. It's on the charger for the night, and it's in airplane mode. Another little quick hack is, thanks to Dr. Jack Cruz, is I actually moved my Wi-Fi router and the regular internet router. I plugged them both into a separate power strip and mounted that under my desk. So before we go to bed, I flip that power off, and it kills both of those devices until we wake up in the morning. I walk out and flip it back on. So when I left today to come here, right before I walked out of the house, I just flipped it back on. That way, if she needs Wi-Fi or the TV or Apple TV, it's working. But the other reason why is because why bombard your brain and your cells with excess frequencies in your home that you don't need? Some people watching this are going to be like, or hearing this and be like, what is this hokey crap he's talking about? This is proven. This is actually proven science, so I've just been studying it long. Consider it. Just throwing it out there, because here's what I didn't do a few weeks ago. I forgot to turn it off. Well, guess what happened? I had some weird-ass dreams. I've been doing this for over 6 months now. Killing the Wi-Fi, killing the internet. And I was always a deep sleeper, but every once in a while I had some weird dreams. Well, then they all went away. Is this a coincidence? I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I haven't done a sleep study on myself yet. But the nights I forget to turn that off, all of a sudden I wake up the next morning, I'm like, what the heck was that weird dream I had last night?
Just saying. Just what I heard.
Other than that, I never have weird dreams. So I've had maybe 3 times in the past 6 months I've had weird dreams, and that's it. And it's only when I've left, when I wake up, I'll go out in my office, I'm like, crap, I forgot to turn the internet off. I don't know. So, just something else to think about. So, I don't have the science to back it up. I know you don't. You probably don't ever talk about stuff like this.
Nope. Just in terms of, like, stop disrupting your sleep.
But that's the point here, guys. It's like, take your sleep seriously is what I'm getting from today's episode.
Yeah, and you know, we have to be mindful that we're getting that sleep and doing things that just help us sleep more and making sure that, like I said, we're really getting that quality of sleep.
So, we talked about quantity of hours. Obviously, more importantly, just like in fitness, like it's not always about the quantity of the reps. It's the quality of the reps. It's the form and the technique, and that's what I'm getting out of you here too. Is like, what is the form and technique? You know, when you take your sleep seriously.
Yeah. So the best form of technique, you know, ultimately is like phone either out of the bedroom or on do not disturb, no lights in your face for that hour before bed, and also it's sleep consistency. So that's having a consistent bedtime and a consistent wake up time.
Ooh, we didn't even bring that up. Yes, please plug that in.
Yeah, and so it's our body takes 3 days to regulate to our sleep cycle. And so if we're doing that, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're good. It's at that point regulated. So our body, if we're going to bed at 11 and waking up at 7, you know, you're getting that 8 hours. Now when it's approaching 11 o'clock, your body knows, and it'll start helping that process ramping down. But then in the morning, when it knows, oh, it's about to be 7 o'clock, it regulates to that so that it's easier to wake up, you kind of feel more alert, and you're able to just more actively get into your day. And so regulating that sleep cycle, you know, ultimately I think during the week it's a little bit easier because typically people have schedules and jobs and things to do. It's more the weekend that's the challenge. But so that's the kicker for
I would agree with that. Now that you're talking about this, I can remember back where, let's be real, the nightlife, the peak nightlife are usually what, Thursday through Saturday, depending on your lifestyle or what you do. At least here in the U.S., we have listeners from other countries, but I'm thinking about this. I'm like, you know, there's, hey, are you a Thursday night person? Is there regular stuff you do on Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, etc. But the point is, like, you can do great Monday through Friday. And let's say you got a big night out with your friends, and you close the bar down, so to speak. I'm not promoting drinking, but if you do it, you go. But let's say you go out, you club, and you close the bar down. Now it's 2:30 in the morning. You're probably not getting to bed until 3.
At best.
And if your normal cycle that you just helped us understand is, oh, I'm in bed by 10:30 or 11 o'clock, and I'm up by 7.
Yeah.
Well, why do you think you can't get up Sunday morning? And if you do get up, you feel like butter.
Yeah, well, and you know, I think it's always interesting to make the comparison of thinking of your work week. If that kind of is the pattern, it's, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday especially, a real challenge to get up. And then by Thursday, Friday, it's like, okay.
Oh, interesting.
But then on
nice
the weekends,
connection.
we just, and then we kind of just like make it, we just repeat the process, you know.
Right.
And so it's just one of those things where that sleep cycle consistency is really helpful. They did a study at Stanford where they had their athletes sleep 10 hours, but they also had that consistency, and they had all these, you know, decreases in speed when they like football for like their 40s, decrease in reaction times for sprinters or like swimmers off the blocks. For tennis, they had better reaction time on the ball, like all these speed, improved muscle memory, like all of not muscle memory, sorry, improved muscle growth, improved memory. I had to like combine those into a little like result baby there. But all of these really positive things, so like I said, we're, you know, having that enough and then also that consistency of sleep. And so really taking it to that next level and having a bedtime and a wake up time can really be helpful in getting the most out of it.
Well, I love the fact you bring this back up. I have had other doctors or, you know, whatever, scientists on the show. They've discussed similar versions of this. Long story short, it is quantity, but it's definitely actually circadian rhythm. Right? Your circadian rhythm is what this is tied into. Is that keyword rhythm? Is what is the rhythm you're building? What is the consistency? Because your body does like a good program to follow when it comes to sleep. Now, granted, we talk about fitness. We talk about, hey, it's good to, like in CrossFit, tie back that full loop, guys, full loop, back to CrossFit, is a lot of people do like to, or the body does like muscle confusion. It does like variations, variable exercises. You can't do the same thing over and over again and then expect a different result. That's the definition of insanity, isn't it?
Right.
She's a psychologist. I only minored in it. But that's what I love about this, is that we're getting back to the basics. Like, okay, we do want a rhythm, we do want consistency when it comes to sleep. And in fitness too, like, you do want a program, you do want a good coached process to follow, but in the end you still want to change things up. But when it comes to sleep, really you don't want to change things up.
Right,
You want a
the
good
thing
flow.
You do not want to change up. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good flow. And something that I like even more, or in addition to that, even more, is the bedtime routine.
Okay.
You know, because you think about, like, with if any parents out there, you know, you have, like, for kids putting them down, and then I'm sure when we were babies, our parents had them for us, where, you know, maybe you have, like, bath time, and then you put your pajamas on, then you have a snack, then you read a book, then you go to bed, and then that's just the routine. But so when we think about our bodies, we, like, all the way back to, like, the theories of classical conditioning is, you know, we have a stimulus paired with something, you know, and so in terms of, like, back to when Pavlov did the experiment with his dogs, you know, he rang the bell, and then he had the food, and they start to salivate.
The drool factor.
Yeah, and then eventually over time, when they would just hear the bell, they would just start to salivate because it had just been, like, bell equal food at that point. And so, you know, it's taking that principle but applying it to bed.
I like that.
And so, you know, we have that, like, condition our body to know that, like, like, once I start thinking through your routine is shower, pajamas, brush teeth, book, bed. Showers, pajamas, brush teeth, book, bed. You do that. But once that shower, you know, engages, your body kind of knows, like, oh, okay, in like 20 years, like, soonish, we're going to bed.
Yeah.
You know, and so it then allows that even further ability of our body to just condition to the fact that, oh, like, this is our process before we go to bed, and we also are doing it at the same time. So it just, these little hacks, these little things that we don't really think about, but just these simple things. And I mean, a bedtime routine doesn't have to be anything big. I mean, it could really just be the order that you...
It can be 2 or 3 simple things.
Yeah,
It doesn't be complicated.
These little things that just help our body to fall more easily into sleep. Because, like, yeah, like, everybody's busy, and so if it is, like, you're scheduling out that time to sleep, you want to put yourself in the best position as you are there. You're getting that quality and falling asleep. So, you know, you're not laying there for hours, so you're getting and really maximizing the time you are allocating.
Huh. I like that.
Bedtime
cool.
routines.
Yeah. You also gave me something I'm going to follow up with my mom and say, hey, what was my bedroom routine?
What was my bedtime
routine? I was like, oh, I always need something new to talk to the parents with anyway, so it's like, I never really asked that question, I don't think ever. So, who else I got on here? Oh, wow, man. Blast from the past, you got Harold Siegfried on here. Shout out to Christopher Svetkov. I think he actually came to, I'm not sure if that's the same Chris, pardon me, Chris, I think he might have came to a kettlebell event. When we had Valerie Pulowski out here at SYR. Plug and Rob. All right, well, listen, this has been a great episode. We've covered so much content. Yeah, I did not know we were going to get this deep. This is awesome. I do love when this is why we bring Megan on a regular monthly basis, people. She's got a lot to share. So, like we normally do when we close out a podcast episode, obviously you just had 4 different speeches or presentations on this topic yesterday. And obviously we just did a whole podcast on Facebook Live today. But is there anything else big right now that is an all-encompassing message that you want to close out the show with on this?
You know, I think, like we like you just said, we dug a lot of deep holes here, and there was a lot of information, and sometimes that can be overwhelming. But ultimately, I think the goal here is our sleep is really important, and we just need to do things to ultimately, like, if we're not doing it, we're just limiting our own potential. So let's not kick ourselves in the foot. You know, we want to, like, maximize this lifestyle that we have. And so it's making one small change. But anybody listening, something different may have stood out or you know, spoke to them. And so whatever that thing is, you don't have to do everything. And, you know, you just try one, you know, and do something that can at least start taking you in that direction to just improving the quantity of quality.
There you go. Quantity, but especially quality of your sleep, ladies and gentlemen. So again, that's another Live the Fuel podcast show. Thanks for tuning in. And obviously, our I'm going to call her famed. We're trying to blow her up fame-wise, but Dr. Megan Cannon, Ph.D. of Mind of the Athlete, based out of here in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, but she does go everywhere. And but again, thanks for listening in, guys. Thanks for tuning into another podcast show. And remember, you too can live the fuel. Talk to you guys again soon. And we're free of the podcast. Facebook Live is everything extra. So, you have fun?
Now we're only doing 3 drinks. Just hydrating, Facebook Live.
I feel like we don't have enough drinks on here. We're gonna do an Instagram photo after this and just have like all the stuff, like gear, tripods, and everything.
Oh no, we didn't talk about these.
That's okay. Well, there you go. Facebook Live, you get a bonus.
They're awesome.
Shout out to my boys at, let me get it in here. It's a very sunny day outside. Pilly Nuts. Okay, guys? She's never tried these before.
I did not.
Hold on, I won't even plug them. What do you think?
They were unbelievable.
Right?
I'm going to be using your discount code to order
Yes.
these literally this afternoon.
So for my followers, guys, every once in a while you'll see me plug a company called Villa Capelli, which is the purest, most amazing healthy fats, aka olive oil from Italy. And we have a discount code with them, FUEL, F-U-E-L. So when you go to Villa Capelli's website and you order their olive oil or their amazing Italian seasonings, they will give you 10% off. Same code, FUEL, F-U-E-L, works with eatpillynuts.com, because that is a straight from the jungle nut. In the Philippines, those trees in the jungles grow in volcanic soil because those are volcanic islands. Ridiculous source of healthy fats and healthy magnesiums. I'm calling it the healthiest nut on the planet. We still need to get us a lab to confirm that. They actually have those being tested down in Florida to see, hey, is this officially the healthiest nut or not? But a great sustainable
you better
business.
Get them now before they're established if that's true.
Lots of different seasonings. She has the coconut oil and sea salt, and it's like a buttery nut. And a lot of people who have nut allergies, another little health tip, is they don't really have an allergy with these because it's a tree nut. And again, it's from the Philippines, but I can't guarantee that because I'm not a doctor and I don't do allergy testing. But I highly recommend them. My fiance does not like any source of snack nuts, but she does like them. So there you go. They're like crack to me. I just took them out to, I probably took like 10 bags out to Vail, Colorado last week. So that's my snack food when I travel on the planes. I don't eat airplane food because it's crap. Fuel your bodies right. Highly recommend them. Eatpillynuts.com. Discount code FUEL, F-U-E-L. Megan's going to take advantage of it. So, and there you go, some free tidbits and free discounts. And all of that, all their websites are linked on LiveTheFuel.com. When you go to the resources page, you'll see their logo. You'll see Villa Capelli's logo. I have them linked right to the website, so you don't have to memorize this stuff. But again, guys, thanks for tuning in to another Facebook Live video. Thank you for hanging out, Megan. Have a great day, guys. Fuel your body, but remember, sleep and recovery, take it seriously. Quantity and especially quality. We'll talk to you guys again soon.